Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my soul tribe. Welcome to Tarot Talk Live with Queen Cancer Tarot or Catherine. All right, so you may know me from my other channel. If you do not, please check out the links to both of my other channels. I have a Cancerian only channel and also a channel where I read for all 12 signs. So please go check both of them out. The links are below. But you can just call me Catherine, and I hope everybody is doing well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button for me. All right, it will help to boost and get us in the algorithm. We haven't quite done that yet. So, my channel has been kind of like on some sort of a suspension or something, shadow banning or something. I don't know. I think we kind of talk about some things that certain people don't want to be talked about. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But regardless of that, we still stand and we are almost at 100 subscribers. Help us get there before my birthday, you guys. It is coming up in a couple of weeks. Please hit that subscribe button. I love you guys so much. Let's get to the reading. Put a yellow heart in the comment section so I can enter you in your chance to win a free reading with me. And I'm going to be announcing winners once we hit 100 subscribers. I'm so excited. But let's get started with tonight's Tarot Talk Live. And what is the topic for tonight? Let's talk about something that has a little bit more substance. I think we need to focus on not just Nancy Guthrie. I want to focus on the whole kit and caboodle. Okay. I want to take a close look at the family just because I can. Okay. And not to accuse anyone, but to see what the overall energy is. And this is all for entertainment purposes only, you guys. Everything on this channel is alleged. Brief little reminder. Okay. This is only for entertainment purposes only. All right. Okay. So let's start off. Who is the oldest between Annie and Savannah? Okay. So Annie is the oldest. So let's start with, Annie. And Annie is also 2 years older than her sister. Okay. She's 2 years older than Savannah. So they are extremely close in age. And to be girls, like really close. Like to the point where it was never really a thing for the other one to come along because she wasn't that much younger. Do you know what I'm saying? And probably past for being older, they probably had very, very similar experiences. They probably had very similar, um, 2 years. There can be life changes in 2 years, but not severe life changes for the most part. Okay, for people that their lifestyles are going to differ very much coming up. Do you see what I'm saying? Like one parent's income level when one child was born is not going to too much differ 2 years apart. You know what I mean? So they're going to go through similar situations in life, right? So I really want to take this back. I really want to take it back to the small compound because I feel like there are things that have not been considered, things that maybe we have not seen, or things that we just haven't even looked at or asked about. Maybe they didn't seem relevant to the case, but I would appear every question is going to be relevant because there is no stone that gets left unturned when it comes to a missing 84-year-old woman. Okay? That was pretty much, yeah, she's independent, but she was very much being under the care of Annie and Tommaso. They were the closest family members, okay, that were responsible and blood related as far as Annie goes. So, yeah, let's start with Annie. Okay, let's start with Miss Annie. So, we're going to start off with the overall energy of Annie as a child between the ages of, let's say, we'll say 5 and 10, because at that point, her little sister would have been between 3 and 8. Okay, so 5 and 10 and 3 and 8, right? How was life? What was the energy between the sisters? Okay, we're going to take it up through stages, but we're starting 5 through 10, and 3 and 8 would be the ages. So, what is the overall energy between the sisters? But what is Annie's overall energy? What is Annie's overall energy? As it pertains to her relationship with her sister? And, I'm just not, we can include Cameron, but I'm not. I'm not including Cameron in this. I'm only including feminine energy here. So we're going to go with Annie, and that's what we're sticking to right now. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a pretty much a clown. We're going to call it a clown. Okay. Mm, okay. Let's move on. Now, between the ages of 11 and 15, and this would be 9 and 13 for Savannah. So 11 and 15 for Annie, 9 and 13 for Savannah. What was the energy surrounding Annie? So we have massive regrets coming through. Hmm. Now, did she feel like this word here, y'all, that I'm not going to say? A jack, you know what? I mean, was she made to feel like, I don't know. Or was this just an energy of being very silly, being very childish, being very silly, playing a lot of games? Now, 15 and 20 and 13 and 18, we have too late. Was there an opportunity that was missed? Did she feel like that she was too old, or she was, or there was something that she wanted to do, but it was too late? She missed an opportunity. Let's go up 21 through 25, 19 through 23. So Annie would be 21 through the age of 25, and then Savannah being the age of 19 through the age of 23. What was Annie's overall energy during this time frame? What is Annie's overall energy during this time frame? That went in the reverse. So we have a firestorm. This talks about a mental breakdown, endings, loss, karma, and drama. And this is in the reverse. Someone is going to be close to going through some sort of breakdown. They're going to have some sort of an episode, but I feel like it's going to be kept under the rug. So now we have a shame coming out next, and this is going to be the next 5-year period. So between the ages of 26 and 30, and then we have Savannah being 24, between the ages of 24 and 28. Now we have ashamed, guilt, embarrassed, in the wrong. All right, let's look at 31 through 35. 31 through 35, or 30, from 30 to 35. Sorry, 30 to 35. What is the energy around Annie between the ages of 30 and 35? And Savannah would be 28 to 33. That's in the reverse. Well, we have sweet talk in the reverse. Well, there has to be some energy of some bitterness or bitter words, or there's some energy of someone not whatever they're hearing. It's they don't like what they hear. They're not liking what they're hearing. Or there's an energy of not being very convincing. Okay, 35 through 40. 35 through 40. What is the energy around Annie at the age 35 through 40? Okay. Okay. What is the energy around Annie between the ages of 35 through the age of 40? Okay. Okay. Faith is in the reverse. Praying. I don't like that. Okay. So I don't like that. So, okay. 40 through 45. 40 through 45. 40 through 45. Okay. All these are coming out. Okay, so we have goodbye in the reverse. So there's some sort of an attachment to something. Not being able to let go or holding on to something. Okay, let's look at the ages of 45 to 50. 45 to the age of 50. And then we'll look at the last we'll look at the last 5 years. You know what, y'all? These two cards fell out of the deck. I kid you not. These two cards fell out of the deck before, and now they have come out. So fed up. So this energy, see, there's energy of somebody was holding on to some sort of loss. This says heartbreak and I miss you. I promise you, both of these cards fell out of the deck before and I put them back in. One fell here and one went on the floor. So I put them back in the deck. And then out came goodbye in the reverse, right? So now these two cards came back out again. and then it came out with fed up. So it's like an energy of something that this person was holding on to and wouldn't let go of. There was some loss that took place between the ages of 40 to 45. And I'm going to find out when their dad passed. I'm not sure. But between the ages, for Annie, between the ages of 40 and 45, there was a loss. And now there's an energy of her missing someone terribly, her heart being broken over this loss, and being fed up about something. What is she fed up about? What is this frustration about this loss, and what is she holding on to? Is there a grudge? Maybe. I don't know. When did their dad pass away? I'm not quite sure how long ago. But let's now I'm gonna look into this in 1 second. But now let's look at the last 4 years. Let's look at the last 4 years, what the energy was. And then we're gonna see when the dad passed away. Okay. Interesting, y'all. Do you see this card that just came out? Romance. That's the overwhelming energy around Annie right now, is this romance. The past 4 years. I don't know when she married Tommaso, how long they've been married, or whatever the case may be, but there is a romance that is the overall energy around Annie. That is, what should I say? What's the word? Motivates her, or influences her, right? The energy that is her overall influence. So let's double check this right quick. When did their dad pass away? Okay, so he passed in 1988. So it was a while ago. But still, hold on, let's see something. Let's see something. If she's 56 now, this would have been 4 years ago. So for 5 years, hold on. So from 2022, scaling back to 2017, 2016 to 2011, 2010-ish to 1990. I'm sorry, 2010-ish to 2005, 2005 to 2000, 2000 to 95, 95 to 90, too late. 1988, too late. She was 18 years old. So, like I said, this is 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Boy, I'm telling you, if my math isn't on point, baby. Okay, so this is the time that her father passed. This too late card. It was a sudden heart attack, you guys. Y'all, I kid you not. It was a sudden heart attack, almost like the clock just stopped. You know what I mean? Type energy. It was too late. There was nothing that could be done about this. And then we have Firestorm in the reverse here. This talks about loss, but it's in the reverse, right? Some sort of breakdown has taken place, but I feel like this person may have gotten over it. Maybe they went to the hospital, maybe they went through recovery, something to that nature. But now we have this feeling of shame coming afterwards, right? And then sweet talk in the reverse. Not being charming, there's an energy of feeling like you're not able to talk your way through. You can't just get by. And then we have this loss of faith, right? And then an energy of something holding on to something, or some sort of an obsessive hold on something. And then we have I miss you, heartbreak, and fed up. It's almost like this heartbreak, it's like somebody's been repressing it for so long to where they just blow up. They have like a massive, something happens here. They're getting fed up. There's an energy of getting fed up. And then we have this romance. See? So this is the energy of Annie over the years. Let's clarify this with the tarot messages, okay? Early childhood. Have the Four of Swords coming out here. This is an energy of being quiet, being very reserved. There's also an element of feeling like, people don't really get you. You know what I mean? There's an energy of feeling like you're on the inside and everybody else is on the outside and they don't quite understand. So you just kind of keep to yourself, right? Kind of feeling like an oddball a little bit, right? Under the deck, we have the Page of Cups. This is someone who spends a lot of time, thinking, a lot of time quiet, a lot of time by themselves in their thoughts. Sorry, I have a distraction coming around me. So let's see. Tell me about massive regret. It's like an energy of feeling like you can't measure up, or like you've done something wrong, or feeling feeling sorry about something or regretting something that you did. What is this massive regrets about? Okay, this one in the reverse. Interesting. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Okay, this is all about bad karma, bad juju, bad luck. Feeling like you're always messing things up. Like you can't never please anyone type energy. And we have the Queen of Cups under the deck, right? So this is an energy of wanting to please others, right? The Queen of Cups. There is a need to do this. And there was an energy of not feeling like they never really made an impression on those that they loved type energy. Do you know what I mean? Hold on one second. I'm back. Sorry, you guys, I had to relight my candle. All right, so now we're going back to too late. All right, so this is the time frame now that we know the timing of her father's passing. Okay, these cards wanted to come out, y'all, so we will take these three. Right. So we have the moon, we have the star. Look at this, 3 major arcana, you guys, and we have the devil here. Do you see that? 3. The moon, the star, and the devil. Definitely this was a very difficult time. This was a very confusing time. I feel like this was also a time where she may have had a lot of questions about, the divine, the creator. She may have just been questioning things, questioning everything. That devil energy is talking about some sort of an obsession or an obsession with something. Now, I have seen other readings, tarot readings that, talk about some spirits and attachments that are attached to that house that have been there for years because of activity that has taken place, okay, in that home. So could be with a person that's affiliated with something they should not be affiliated with, okay? And you see this card here. This is the next phase of Annie's life. This is the overall energy. And this is in the reverse. Firestorm in the reverse. But first, under the deck, we have the Fool. Y'all, this is a major, major, major time frame for Annie's life right here. And with too late, I feel like something happened with Annie to the point of it was already too late. Something happened in her teen years. This is 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Because we have massive regrets here. There's something she did that she either is going to regret or has regretted since, or regretted at the time. And then we have too late here. And this massive, massive change here, because these are all major arcana. The moon, the star, the devil, and the Fool. This is all about some sort of a new phase that Annie entered into. And at this point, it was too late. The course of her direction was basically faded and slated. Let's look at this firestorm here in the reverse. Okay, firestorm in the reverse. This is between the ages of 20 and 25. And I feel like around the time that she met Tommaso, if I'm not mistaken. Well, maybe not. I think this was later on. Let's find out before we move forward. How old was Annie when she met Tommaso? It was in 2006. So if this was 85, 88, through 85. Twenty to 25. Simone moved from Italy to Tucson in 2006. Well, so yeah, so we're gonna say okay, sorry. Okay. So I was gonna say 2006, so this was around 88 to 90, 95. Okay, so it was right around here, y'all. This would have been right around the time of her life that she met Tommaso. Y'all tell me what you think about that. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Let's talk about Firestorm in the reverse. Okay. Right after or during this time where there may have been some sort of a recovery breakdown. Something took place. Things were. Now we have the Queen of Swords Justice here. There was a run-in with the law. Okay, so someone had some sort of run-ins with the legal system. I mean, this is when she would have. Yeah, this is when she became legal. But with that Queen of Swords, there was a lot of. She also became very defensive or had to defend. I feel like this court, though. I feel like this is a legal situation. Okay. Hmm. And then we have a shame. Let's see, under the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Again, feeling alienated or having that is also an energy of recovery. This is like someone who is, you know, been away, perhaps going through something, feeling alienated from others, right? Being very defensive. I feel like there was some kind of trouble that she may have gone through, and she may have gone to some sort of facility to recover. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not, again, this is just, I'm just reading what the cards are saying. Some sort of shame. Tell me about being ashamed here? Tell me about being ashamed or guilty, embarrassed, having done something and then feeling bad about it. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Okay. This is all about having a lack of self control. This is someone who did something. They were living in the moment, but they did something and they were in the wrong when they did it. So there's something that she feels very ashamed of during this time frame. Under the deck, we have the Three of Wands here. Some sort of action, something that she did. There's an energy of some sort of actions that were taken, being embarrassed or feeling guilty, or having done something that was wrong, perhaps. I don't know what that would be. Tell me about sweet talk in the reverse. Sweet talk in the reverse. Sweet talk in the reverse. Okay. And we have the Four of Cups. So this is someone who is very emotionally detached, right? There's an energy of not really believing what people say. Do you know what I mean? So we go through this period before she met Tommaso where she was very emotionally detached, I feel. Underneath the deck, we have Judgment here. See, there was a period of, I don't know, it was like she was going through a period of self reflection, but also feeling like she was being judged. Or maybe emotionally pulling away from others to avoid being judged. Do you know what I mean? Because with this feelings of shame here, there had to be some sort of issues that she may have had, even with self esteem or maybe feeling insecure, perhaps. I wonder how long her sister had her career. We're going to talk about Annie. I mean, we're going to talk about Savannah very soon, but I wonder how long in this timeline, when was it that Savannah's career took off, right? How old was Annie when her career started with the Today Show? Let's see. Let's see. About when her career really took off, okay? She was 40 when she landed her breakout role on the Today Show, okay? She was 40. So that meant this would have been when Annie was 42, okay? So if she's 56, take it back 4 years, 52 through 47, 46 through 41. Okay. This is the time she met Tommaso, right around the time that Savannah landed her breakout role. This was the time frame that she met Tommaso, y'all. Look at this. This is when she met Tommaso. And he moved from Italy to I believe, to Tucson 6 years prior to this. Okay? 6 years prior to this. And it's interesting that we have sweet talk in the reverse here, right? So I don't know when they first met or started talking here, but this is when she would have gotten with Tommaso. And it was right around the time that her sister landed her role. So there it is. There it is, y'all. Interesting. Interesting timing. That's all I have to say. Interesting timing. Now, interesting. We have praying in reverse. This is the card that literally just kind of fell out. I'm going to put it back in here because I'm going to see what comes out of the deck. Okay, well, those cards just came out. We're going to take these, okay? We have the Eight of Cups in the reverse and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Feeling unprepared. All right. This also refers to something slowing down. Now, the Eight of Cups in the upright is someone who's walking away from a situation, being emotionally overwhelmed. Okay. Um, when it's in the reverse, y'all, and it card just fell, sorry. When it's in the reverse, this is an energy of someone who is staying in a relationship even though the relationship is toxic. Even though, y'all, Hmm. So was there some delay or hastiness at first on Annie's part when it came to Tommaso? Was there something about him that gave her pause when she first met him? Something that maybe she didn't necessarily align with, perhaps? Under the deck, we have the Page of Wands. This is an energy of someone who is acting hastily. They're in a rush, right? This is an energy of also wanting to get out of something, wanting to break out. Okay, in a rush to make something happen. We have the Magician coming up next. But I'm going to keep it in the deck here. I'm only pulling one card underneath the deck. But knowing this Magician is coming behind this Page of Wands is letting me know there's an energy of someone. It's almost like someone is being manipulative or someone is causing Annie to make a decision that she wouldn't normally make. Now, I don't know what this has to do with Tommaso, but there's something happening here. Now, here we go with goodbye in the reverse. I get an indication that it's almost like being so deep in a situation that you can't get out of it. Not being able to just say goodbye. It's almost like something attached. Tell me about goodbye in the reverse. Not being able to get out of something. Do you know what I'm saying? Look, that card went in the reverse, y'all. That card went in the reverse. It's the Four of Wands in the reverse. This is all about some sort of a conflict within a family unit, conflict within someone's house. This could even represent conflict within someone energetically, spiritually. This there's some sort of inner conflict or conflict within someone's family unit or within the home. Okay. We have the Nine of Cups underneath the deck. Okay. And this is all about wish fulfillment. Okay. Someone having their desires or their wants and their needs. Someone who wants something, but they're not getting it. There's some sort of conflict with family over some sort of wish fulfillment. Behind that wish fulfillment is the Two of Cups, leading me back to some sort of a relationship or a couple or even a partner that is driving this. Do you see what I'm saying here? So it could be a relationship that is driving some sort of inter-family conflict because someone is not satisfied with what they have and they want more. They want more. They want to fulfill their wishes. All right. So now, listen, now it's getting pretty hot, right? Because we're getting closer to the time of this situation. And now we have this I miss you, heartbreak, and we have someone who's just losing it, right? This is Annie's energy. fed up here, right? Things are overwhelming. It's beyond the point of being able to deal with something that they have been repressing or holding on to for a while now, for a long time. So let's talk about this. I'm too heartbreak and fed up. Three cards came here, so we're going to read all three. I miss you, heartbreak, and fed up here. What is it about Annie's energy that she was missing? So interesting. The Five of Swords came well, and it's in the reverse. This is all about remorse, okay? Um, Regret, okay? Um, I'm not going to say avoiding conflict. Um, this is all about cutting your losses, right? Cutting your losses here. Having said something, and now there's an energy of taking it back, right? Hmm. So was there an argument about something, some sort of verbal disagreement? Okay. Um, and the Page of Pentacles here. This is about money. And this is also someone who wants to be in control of something. This could be an energy of trying to prove that they're responsible, financially responsible, because they're cutting their losses or they're trying to show remorse for having said or done things in the past. Okay? So this is an energy of making amends here, making amends. So tell me about romance. What's going on with this romance here? Tell me about romance. How is this romance affecting Annie in the current energy? Because this is now. This is the past 5 years or the last 4 years. Tell me about Annie. Energy? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Hangman in the reverse. This is all about someone who is very, very sad. Okay, that is all about just overwhelming sadness, having lost something or some sort of emotional loss or emptiness. Okay, emotional loss or emptiness. And then we have the Hangman in the reverse. This is all about stalling, being at a standstill. This is also, this talks about someone who has very negative energy, right? Some sort of negative pattern or detachment, right? Someone who's trying to detach from reality, right? Very dark energy is what I'm getting here. Ace of Cups in the reverse, no emotions, and someone who is very apathetic, almost like empty, like they don't have any feelings, right? Hmm. Underneath the deck here, we have the King of Pentacles. Isn't that? Then we have the Hermit behind this. See, this is all about some sort of this could be a spouse, this could be someone that you're married to, right? That Hermit energy is someone who is evaluating or watching. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is all about an opportunity. Following that opportunity, we have the Empress. You guys, this bothers me. This bothers me. Y'all tell me what you think here. We're going to come back in the next message and we're going to take a deep dive into Savannah's energy over the years up until the current energy as it pertains to her sister and this overall situation. We're going to see the cards that come out for Savannah. But y'all tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. This was a little bit different for me. So, all right. So we're going to try this again in the next reading. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.